Good afternoon and welcome to TVM News. Today is Friday, October 28th. I'm Ellen Franz.
And I'm Emma Rushworth. This week we have news about Marywood Halloween Bingo.
We also have news about the John Fetterman and Dr. Oz debate.
And we'll check in with TVM sports anchors Kyle Driscoll and Max Burke to find out the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
The Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Center held an open house this Tuesday. The center, located on the second floor of the Learning Commons, is stocked with different forms of media to help educate the university and local community on the various different types of people who live in the local area. The center is open every day and open to feedback.
Marywood Student Athlete Advisory Committee celebrated the start of the basketball season yesterday. Marywood Madness was held at the Insalico Arena last night at 9 p.m. Attendees could snag free t-shirts and participate in contests and giveaways while enjoying some light refreshments. The basketball season tips off November 16th at home when the men's basketball team takes on Montclair State University.
Marywood is once again hosting their Adopt a Family Thanksgiving food drive. Students, faculty, and staff can bring in items to help a local family in need. You can volunteer by giving money, donating food, packing the meals, and delivering them.
Marywood men's tennis has a new coach. The women's tennis coach, Dana Chakotay, will now serve in a dual role as both Pacers tennis team's coach. Chakotay has received 2 Atlantic East Coaching Staff of the Year awards. Additionally, she has an 18-5 conference record as a coach.
Marywood Activities hosted Halloween Bingo on Wednesday in the Latour Room. Students were able to play to win prizes such as AirPods, an Apple Watch, UGG slippers, candy baskets, and more. Any student who wore a costume got an extra board for an extra chance to win. When we come back, we'll tell you about the debate between John Fetterman and Dr. Oz. But first, we'll check in with Maddie for the weather.
Thank you, ladies, and welcome back to your weekly weather report. As I'm sure you all could tell this morning, it's cold. It was cold yesterday as well. We had some really warm temperatures earlier in the week, but we are definitely experiencing some cooler temperatures. It was in the mid 30s when I woke up this morning, so not very fun. It was very cold. But the high today is 59, so there is a chance that it's going to get warmer. Thank goodness. But you might want to bring an extra layer if you're going anywhere this evening. The low today is 34. Tomorrow, the low is also 34, but the high is 63, so it's going to get a little bit warmer as we go on here. Now, the good news is these 30-degree temperatures are just for Friday and Saturday. We're looking at lows next week in the 40s and 50s, so not as brutally cold, but let me tell you, it's pretty cold out here this morning. On Sunday, we're looking at a high of 64 and a low of 48. On Monday, another high of 64 and a low of 55, so some warmer temperatures toward the beginning of the week next week. Tuesday, the high is 66 and the low is 49. On Wednesday, the high is 65 and the low is 44. Thursday, the high is 65, the low is 48. And Friday, we're looking at a high of 67 and a low of 51. So although it's cold this morning, we are looking at some unprecedented warm temperatures for November. We've had Novembers where it's been snowing and really brutally cold, so I guess we'll just have to take the warmth where we can. Now, Halloween is on Monday this week. Again, we said the high is 64 and the low is 55, so it's not super warm but not super cold either, so you might want to bring an extra layer if you're going out on Halloween. And remember to be safe, have fun, and have a very happy Halloween weekend. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
At aceyourretirement.org, you can. Start with a free 3-minute chat with Avo, your friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer some simple questions like, how do you feel about your ability to save for retirement? Or in how many years do you want to retire? To get free action items customized just for you, get your retirement back on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. My service never stops.
Police have a man in custody after he and a friend robbed two Turkey Hills in Luzerne County on Friday. Police found Jaquil Nelson outside of one of the Turkey Hills covered in leaves and surrounded by cash while holding a handgun. Nelson said he and a friend named Kay wanted to, quote, make some bread by robbing the Turkey Hills.
The two candidates for Pennsylvania's open Senate seat squared off in their only debate this week. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and Dr. Mehmet Oz met in Harrisburg on Tuesday to vie for Pennsylvania voters' favor. Fetterman addressed topics like his health after recovering from a stroke earlier this year, while Oz went hard on topics like abortion and crime. Both candidates are running for the Senate seat to be left vacant when current Senator Pat Toomey retires in January.
A South Williamsport man has fallen victim to a Halloween heist. Matt McCarrier is known for his extravagant holiday decorations for the past 20 years. However, a few days ago, McCarrier discovered that 6 of his ghost glow molds were gone. The glow molds were worth over $1,000. McCarrier has since removed all of his decorations and will not be decorating for Christmas.
A Luzerne County priest is facing new charges of child pornography. Police say Robert Timchak uploaded 2 videos online of child pornography. This is not Timchak's first time being in trouble with the law related to child sex crimes. Timchak is a registered sex offender and was previously arrested in 2010 for sexual abuse of a child while he was the priest in the Diocese of Scranton. Timchak remains locked up in Luzerne County from those charges and can likely expect to add more time to his sentence.
A trunk-or-treat event in Edwardsville on Saturday was held to benefit a local boy fighting cancer. 4-year-old David Rivera was diagnosed with brain cancer back in August. More than a dozen cars were decorated at Three Guys restaurant where they handed out candy and hosted basket raffles. All of the money raised went to the Rivera family.
A man who robbed a bank in Scranton was sentenced to prison this week. Vasily Chinikalo robbed the Wells Fargo on North Main Avenue in 2019 by claiming he had a bomb. Police were able to use DNA from the robbery note to apprehend Chinikalo. He was sentenced to 11 to 23 months in prison for the robbery.
The Scranton Wilkes-Barre Airport hosted a Wheel Life experience on Saturday. The event allows kids to get up close and personal with airplanes and other airport vehicles. The kids were able to go inside the planes and talk to the airport and aircraft employees.
One man is dead after a car crash in Monroe County. Officials say that 65-year-old Ralph Boyer died last Wednesday in a car crash on Fiddletown Road in Kunkletown. Boyer was a passenger in a car that rolled over. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he later died of his injuries. When we come back, we'll tell you about a Florida attorney who died in a motorcycle accident.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
A Florida attorney who fought against motorcycle helmet laws died in an accident this week while not wearing a helmet. Ron Smith and his girlfriend Brenda Volpe were riding Smith's motorcycle down U.S. Highway 19 in Pinellas County when Smith lost control of the vehicle and collided with the tractor-trailer. Neither rider was wearing a helmet, and Smith was pronounced dead on the scene.
A 55-year-old grandfather fell to his death after a skydiving incident at a Tennessee high school. It was during a stunt prior to a big bowl game between two rival high schools. The man's name has not been released, but he was airlifted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at the scene.
Authorities are searching for missing migrants after the boat they were traveling on overturned near Puerto Rico. At least 8 people are suspected to be missing, according to 2 survivors from the capsized boat. Water smuggling has become increasingly common in the Caribbean, which is what officials believe led to the capsized boat near the San Juan Bay.
The people of Florida are currently battling a multi-million-dollar war against mosquitoes. In the wake of Hurricane Ian, mosquitoes have taken over the floodwaters as crews try to fix power lines and rebuild infrastructure. It is costing the state multi-millions of dollars to test the mosquitoes and drop insecticide on the insects.
Jules Bass, the producer behind some holiday classics, died this week at the age of 87. Bass wrote, produced, and directed fan favorites like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and other classic stop-motion Christmas specials. He retired in 1987 and wrote children's books in the later years of his life.
Another group of climate protesters have vandalized yet another famous painting. Protesters threw mashed potatoes at a Claude Monet painting in a museum in Berlin on Sunday. The 2 protesters then glued themselves to the wall underneath the painting. This incident comes weeks after another incident in which 2 climate protesters threw soup on a Van Gogh painting in London.
In a historic first, the LGBT community are running for elected offices in all 50 states. 678 candidates for this year's election cycle are running, fueled by a rise in anti-LGBTQ legislation. Reports say that an increase in LGBT representation in all levels of government will help counter that sentiment.
Author Salman Rushdie has lost use of a hand and lost sight in one eye after a vicious attack. Rushdie was attacked in August at a literary event in New York. The attacker was 24-year-old Hadi Matar of New Jersey, who has been in prison after pleading guilty to attempted murder and assault. When we come back, we'll check in with TVM sports anchors Kyle Driscoll and Max Burke for the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Well, Max, it hasn't exactly been a banner week for Marywood sports score-wise, but several of our teams are moving on to the playoffs.
Oh, let's hear a little more about that.
Sure. Last Wednesday, Marywood's women's field hockey team lost their match against Susquehanna University 4-1. Marywood's single point was scored by Corin Hasty. The loss ends the Pacers' regular season, but the team will move on to the Atlantic East Conference competition tomorrow when they take on Manhattanville College at 1. Marywood's men's soccer team ended their senior day with disappointment when they fell 6-1 to Newman University. The Pacers' lone goal was scored by Kiernan Wilder. The struggle continued Wednesday when the Pacers were shut out by the Riverhawks of Susquehanna University. Despite the loss, the men's team will move on to the Atlantic East playoffs tomorrow as they play Cabrini University. After an unbeaten run of 8 games, Marywood's women's soccer team clinched the top seed for the Atlantic East Conference tournament after tying Newman University. Marywood's only goal was scored by Brooke Longstreet. On Wednesday, the team's winning streak ended with a 6-1 loss to Penn College. Brooke Longstreet once again scored Marywood's only goal on an assist from Kate Collardi and Josephine Sorchi. Marywood remains the top seed for the Atlantic East women's soccer playoffs. Marywood's swimming and diving team hosted the University of Scranton, where the Royals took the victory for both the women's and men's sides. Sophomore Sabrina Ziegler placed third in the 1,000 freestyle, while Samantha Peck placed third in the 200 freestyle. The women fell to the U 245-33. Things were not any better for the men as the Royals defeated the Pacers 196-33. Dylan Herview placed second in both the 100 and 200 backstrokes. Marywood swimming and diving team takes on Marywood-University tomorrow at 1. Well, that's all for Marywood sports. How are things on the professional front, Max?
Well, the World Series is starting soon, so that's exciting.
Tell me more.
The Phillies and Astros will face off in Houston tonight for Game 1 of the World Series. The Phillies took down the Padres in 5 games, making quick work of them in the NLCS. The Astros dominated the Yankees by sweeping them in 4 games. The Astros were definitely expected to be there this year, but the Phillies were the last team to make the playoffs. Any other year, the Phillies wouldn't have even clinched the postseason. The pitching matchup will be Aaron Nola versus Justin Verlander, and game time is scheduled for 8 p.m. on Fox. The Astros are looking to win this year after losing last year, and the Phillies are looking to cap off a miracle season. The NFL season so far has been very exciting. Many unexpected teams are playing surprisingly well, while the playoff contenders are struggling. Teams like the Buccaneers, Rams, 49ers, Packers, Raiders, and Broncos are all teams that have a 500 record or under. The biggest surprises are the Bucs and Packers, due to the fact that both teams have Hall of Fame quarterbacks who have struggled every game so far. The Raiders added arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, Devontae Adams, yet they are much worse this year than they were projected. The Broncos added quarterback Russell Wilson, and he has looked underwhelming so far this year. As for the 49ers, they look a bit different because of quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, now fully locked into the starting position, and recent trades for starting running back Christian McCaffrey. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, but the mid-season trade movement is in full swing. Former Panthers wide receiver Robbie Anderson was sent to the Cardinals. As mentioned previously, former Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey was sent to the 49ers. Former Jaguars running back James Robinson was sent to the Jets. Former Raiders defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins was sent to the Cowboys. And former Bears defensive end Robert Quinn was sent to the Eagles. There have also been a few guys who have requested trades, and those are Jets wide receiver Elijah Moore and Rams running back Cam Akers. Definitely expect a lot more trades to happen as we approach the deadline. That's all for sports. We'll be back right after these messages.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hey, can you chop the pineapple?
Chop the pineapple.
Nope, I'm high. How about I wash off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
I want tacos. Will you drive? I'm a little toasty.
Nope, I'm high. Let's order in.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different. If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Memory of a goldfish? You may want to pick a different animal. Science has busted the myth that goldfish have short-term memories or struggle with retaining information. In fact, goldfish actually have great memories and are used as a model species in fish cognition. Recently, Oxford University researchers taught goldfish to measure distances. The reason goldfish are assumed to be absent-minded is due to typically being placed in fish bowls with no stimuli, leading to decreased activity.
I would love to sit and watch them train a goldfish to remember things.
Goldfish actually wrote that reader, which is why it was so pro-goldfish.
Probably. It was probably, that's why. That's going to do it for this week's edition of TVM-News. From everyone at TV-Marywood, thanks for tuning in.
Be sure to follow TV-Marywood's YouTube page and like the TVM Facebook page to stay up to date on the latest happenings and to watch additional content. I'm Emma Rushworth.
And I'm Ellen Franz. Have a great weekend, Marywood, and happy Halloween!